Together, we're exploring the intersection of faith, biology, and the signals that shape how we heal.
You'll hear conversations about nervous system safety,
peptides, and cellular communication,
prayer, trust, and what it means to live aligned with design.
No hype,
no pressure,
just curiosity, relationship, and truth.
Welcome to Prayer and Peptides.
Before we talk about sleep, let's take one slow breath. Because maybe this is the only breath that you have taken all week. Not to fix your night, not to optimize tomorrow, but to notice you're here in this moment. Many people carry today into tonight, and the body feels that. If you're bracing instead of resting, make sure that you comment the word of the episode, release. Type it as the posture you're choosing this week. It supports the channel and enters you into giveaways, but more importantly, it sets intention for your week. You can't repair what you won't release. Sleep is not passive. It is one of the most biologically active states your body enters. Nighttime is when your hormones recalibrate, neural pathways consolidate, immune repair completes, inflammatory signaling quiets. If depth is missing, repair is partial. This episode's conversation is about creating sanctuary, not forcing sleep.
Sleep begins long before your head hits the pillow. The nervous system must feel safe enough to downshift. If stress remains elevated, the body resists surrender. Many people say, I'm exhausted, but I can't sleep. But that's not laziness, that's activation. The system hasn't completed its cycle. If this is describing your evenings, tap like. It helps the message reach people who think that they need just a little bit more discipline when they maybe need a little bit more safety. All right, guys, so I want to know what keeps you guys awake most often at night. Is it your thoughts or your tension?
100% my thoughts. I am an overthinker. I think about my day. I think about what's going to happen next. My husband often says my brain hates me because, I don't know if your husbands are like this, but when my husband lays down, he's asleep in like 2 seconds. And I get so frustrated because I lay down and I think about, well, maybe I should go do this, or what about this? I have this planned. And then if anything is going on in my life, I almost like rethink or overthink what could happen or what may have happened, or I'll like go over and over. I also spend a lot of time self-reflecting before I go to bed, which is not always healthy because it's like either you did a good job today or let me like tear myself apart. What keeps me up at night is my brain not shutting off and just saying it's time to put that to bed.
For me, it's definitely tension. I feel the pain in my body. And that's what usually keeps me awake because I will focus on it and try to like count through it or do like my eye thing, where you like look around and look at your nose and you do that a couple of times and it's supposed to put you back to sleep. Well, that makes me nauseous. And then I'm thinking about how nauseous I am. And so for me, it's distraction. So I have like sleep headphones that are like flat to my ear. So I can turn on a podcast, which is usually like the Bible Project. I love listening to them because it's history and it's information and I love listening to that, but it gives me something to focus on. So I'm not focused on my body until I can go like straight back to sleep. And I know that we all use something that has changed the game of getting woken up in the middle of the night to be able to go right back to sleep. And that has been a game changer. So now I don't spend as much time awake in the middle of the night. I can go right back to sleep, or if I have to get up and go potty in the middle of the night, I can just go kind of right back to sleep. It's not such a big disruption, but the tension for me is really the disruptor.
That's wild that you said that about sleeping all the way through the night, because since I started that product that we take, I have been able to not wake up at 2 and 3 in the morning. I used to wake up at 2 to 3 in the morning every single night. My issue is going to sleep. I don't want to take something that is like a knockout punch because then I overthink and then I think I'm dying. To be very honest, I'm like, oh, my chest is tightening up. But what we take is something that's so great because I've been able to sleep through the night. But I also, even though my husband does not snore, I wear earplugs. And I also have a weighted blanket. I'm talking heavy weighted blanket. And when I don't sleep with that, I don't sleep as sound. But when I have it, it's like a cocoon for me. It's amazing. So I don't know if you guys use anything like that, but I heard you say like you use the ear covers, but man, if I don't have those two things, it's rough.
I've never slept with a weighted blanket before. My in-laws had one on their couch one time, and I like had it on me, and I was like, wow, this is kind of nice. But they come in different like weights, I think, right? Like you could get like a 10-pound or 15-pound or 25, I think. I don't know what the highest is, but I've always wanted to try one of those. And I will say that I typically go to bed pretty easy because I've gone all day long. I just run, and I don't really get breaks in my day. I don't, take time to really rest in my day at all. And so then I lay down, and unless something concerning happened or stressful happened, that might keep me up a little bit, but I go right to sleep. It's the waking up in the morning that gets me, because I wake up and I'm like, I have to get up, and I don't want to get up. I just want to just sit there and not feel rushed to start my day or start my morning. And I think it's because the day before I just kept on and kept on and kept on. And so I don't really get a chance to just have that moment of rest, which maybe I should do better in my schedule. I don't know.
It's one of those things that I have to really work at, but when I do have a deep sleep, it's amazing. And I feel so much better and more alert, because really deep sleep relies on signaling and melatonin release, cortisone decline, and also neural recalibration. When signaling supports nighttime repair consistently, people often notice huge things like deeper sleep cycles, which I'm such a fan of. When I use my Oura ring to see that, I'm like, here we go. My favorite is when I don't wake up multiple times throughout the night. And that's when you really see fewer and fewer. And then you feel clearer in the morning. You're more alert, you're ready to go. And then you also, when you're getting that quality sleep, you have a lot better with emotional steadiness. And don't we all want to be steady and be more calm throughout the day? Certain peptide signaling supports communication involved in nighttime repair cycles. I truly didn't believe it until I found this peptide that has helped me with it. It's not sedating. It's not forcing me to be unconscious and be knocked out, like I said. It's encouraging completion. Sleep improves when safety improves. Let's pause for just a moment. If this space exists because of your engagement, if these conversations feel grounding, subscribe and stay with us. Each episode builds on the last, and we're grateful you're here. Now back to the episode.
Amy, I've got a quick question for you before we move on too far. But how long did it take for you to get your signaling calibrated from where you weren't sleeping at all to being on this new peptide to be able to really tap into that deep sleep? How long did that take you?
It did not take me long at all, believe it or not. I did feel the longer I was on it, the better it was, but I saw improvement within the first week. Now, I will say I saw the most improvement when I stayed very consistent with the product. After 2 to 3 weeks, I was consistent. I was not waking up multiple times in the night. I was feeling better. Sleep has, the sad part is I never knew what sleep really could be until this. And I always just thought that was me. And this is one thing where I thought, well, it's just what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to wake up at 2 to 3 in the morning, and then go back to bed, and then check my clock and be like, oh, good, I have 3 more hours I can sleep, right? But it took me, within the first week, I started seeing improvement. But I would say in the first 2 to 3 weeks is when it really was consistent.
That's amazing. And that it happened in such a short amount of time, but it also happened with consistency too. So I know lots of people are early adopters or slow adopters, so it can just be a little bit of time. And also what else is going on in life? So if you're stressed and all the other things, there's multiple factors. But sleep is daily surrender. Think about it. Everybody on the planet at some point during a 24-hour period goes into a dark room, lays under a cover, turns the lights out, and closes their eyes. That is just has always blown my mind. We do that. And we all do it at the same time around the world. It feels ridiculous. So we close our eyes and we trust our body to continue working without conscious control. So we're breathing, our blood is pumping, our brain is cleaning itself. So while your body is asleep and getting rest, your brain is not. Your brain is fully active. So fun fact, did you know that on that special little helper tool that we all use, but Amy's been talking about. It helps you with cleaning out your system, and cleaning out your system burns between 150 and 300 calories while you sleep. So if that's something that you're interested in, yeah, we're working 24 hours over here. So, but sleep is also embodied faith. Sometimes we need to release the monitor. We need to put the phone down. We need to put the control down. We release the need to produce, which is where we get caught in those thoughts. Like Lauren asked, is it the thought or is it the tension? Like where do we keep going, building out Amy's CD-ROM? Are we replaying a message that we shouldn't play? Can we push mute? Can we take the disc out? Right? So the release, we also, when we sleep, we release the need to fix it. Like it's just complete surrender. And scripture often speaks about rest, not as reward, but rhythm. Rest is relational. It assumes provision. I'm going to quote this and I'll put it up on the screen. Is it Elijah that he needed a nap and a snack with a fig tree? God made him take a nap and gave him food to eat. And then it was all good because he was freaking out before. And I will find that verse and I will put that on the screen so we have it right. That rest assumes safety. So also another little tidbit is, does anybody else's husband, can they sleep without anything on top of them? Like without a blanket or a sheet or anything? Because they are fully protected. They don't have that innate thing that we feel like we need to be covered, even with something light, that it creates a layer of protection for us. And again, we always go back to the body does more when the body feels safe. So what does surrender look like in your body? Like, how do you get to that place where you feel safe to sleep, and what can you release?
That's such a good question. And it's something that typically you don't really think about, right? It's not like, well, how am I going to surrender to my rest tonight? But it's really important to think about it because this is how our body works. This is how we really, truly recover. And so going to bed, I think that there are times where, like I said earlier, unless something really stressful happened in my day or something happened, it will keep me up. But true rest and true surrender to being able to go and get really good sleep feels like to me just like you really don't have anything, any stress, anything bothering you, and you get in bed and it just feels all good. I love getting in bed with fresh sheets. And I grew up, I grew up in a very strict, Italian family, and our family is so, particular about clean that, my great aunt had wallpaper with, plastic over the wallpaper, and she had plastic on her couches. And, growing up, my mom would iron our pillowcases for us. So, our pillowcase would be put on the bed, and it would be just perfect, just right, and you would lay on it, and it just felt so good. And I know that sounds ridiculous. Trust me, I know. I grew up in it. But it does make a difference when you go to bed at night and you just have those good smells from your sheets, and it just feels crisp and it just feels nice. And when you don't have any horrible thought process happening, and you're not worried about the day or you're not worried about tomorrow, and you can just be calm and go to sleep, it feels really good. And Amy, I know you were talking earlier about this, the peptide you're taking currently to help you sleep. There's one that I particularly like, and it's not even for restoration, full body restoration when you sleep. It's just to calm you down. And I love that. And it's not even a peptide. It's just a couple different, herbs. Is that an herb? I think it's an herb, right? It's ashwanda. Or, I always say that wrong. Ashwanda. You know what I'm talking about. And lemon balm. And it's this little pixie stick, and you just put it on your tongue, and it's delicious. And I'm telling you, it will relax me. And after a very long day, it's like I said, I run, I go nonstop. I need that calm. And so maybe taking that is what also helps me to be able to just go to bed easy. And then when you have clean sheets and you just total zen, you're and you just fall right asleep. And I do, Anna, I will say I like to have a cover on me. Peyton doesn't have to have a cover on him. He could have the fan going on him without covers. And I'm I need a cover, even if it's a thin little sheet. And sometimes that's not even enough. I like to feel covered. I like to feel like I'm in bed. So I don't know. That was probably a really long answer. I'm sorry. I just rambled about, the sheets being ironed. And I know that sounds crazy, but it does feel good. And that's what it feels like to me. If I'm going to really surrender and have a good night's sleep and feel restful, that's what I want. I just want like coziness and cleanliness and comfy and
Making me laugh so much. I swear, you just like, okay, so I'm going to share something about Ed, which is like hilarious about us going to bed and stuff like that. So I have to have the bed made. I don't know if you're like me. It is, you better make your bed. And yes, I have decorative pillows. I'm obnoxious about our bed. Like I can't leave the house. I don't know if it's like OCD. Like I'm not even saying that as like a funny thing. Like I'm not using that as a term. Like I really don't know if that's a ritual of mine that has to be done. Because I'm like, what if something bad happens? Like, I mean, it's like a real thing. Well, anyways, Ed cannot stand the way that I lay in bed. Like he says I lay too low in the bed. Like I like to like get all the way down, but don't you dare let my feet hang off the bed. That's like crazy. But I like to be down pulling it up. But that sometimes makes the sheets and blankets go down. So there is like when I make the bed, he's like, oh, I don't pull the sheets up far enough. But when we have a cleaning service come in and she always remakes the bed, so she must not like the way I make the bed. She jacks those pillows and those sheets so far up and he's always like, this is the best night's sleep ever. And I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yes. And so like we have like a joke about the whole thing. But I'm laughing because I'm like, is this Italian thing or something? Like he's the same way and he's obsessed about these sheets being pulled up. It's a nightly conversation.
that is hilarious. I've actually had this conversation with my cousin before because we've talked about our own husbands, like how we go to sleep. And her husband can literally sleep without like a fitted, like not the fitted sheet, but like the sheet that goes on top of you and then you have your comforter. And he doesn't even like that sheet. He gets tangled up in it and wrapped in it. He just wants to take it off the bed. And she's like, but you can't have that. Like your face touches the comforter and I don't wash the comforter all the time. It sounds crazy. And all you people are probably gonna be like, that girl is whack. But it's true. Like it feels so good, like to have a good clean sheet and to be like, I don't know. But we are very, very much the same way about well, I don't want to say we. I'm the same way about making the bed. And actually yesterday morning, I took a little video and I put it in my stories and Peyton had brought me some breakfast and he had kind of just pushed the sheets up and didn't like military press, like I pushed them all up underneath the bed and we have our pillowcases and all that stuff too. And I took a video of Peyton bringing me some breakfast because he was so sweet to make me some breakfast. And I said, let me get this on video. I need to show everybody like how amazing you are. So I'm like videoing him. You could see our bed in the background and you could see like the white sheet showing like underneath the comforter, like the bedspread part. And I almost didn't post it for that reason. And I'm like, oh my God, you could see the white sheet. And then I'm like, no, that's silly. Like this is real life. I'm going to just go with it. People like that. But in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, the sheet was showing in my bed. You can see it. And I was like, whatever, I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to and of course Peyton's like, who cares? And I'm like, I care.
There definitely is a right way to make a bed, especially. So I've grown up in the South. We've entertained people my entire life. So we have this thing that if you stay at our house, we ask you to remove the sheets and remake the bed because we don't know when someone else is coming in. And either if I'm not there, then my mom has to do it. And so like, it just kind of helps out. So you can always tell when a man makes the bed, how they put the pillowcases on, because they will put standard pillowcases on king pillows. And this much of the pillow is sticking out. And it's like, can y'all not figure this out? Like, it's not that complicated, but there is a way that sheets go on the bed. And if you fold down the top sheet, you have to put the top sheet on upside down so the decorative edge sits on the other side. I taught my brother-in-law that. I said, when you date a girl and you go to her parents' house and you make the bed, you make it the right way. I said, put them on correctly, put the sheets on the right thing, make it like a normal human being. But I'm going to also add something to your list of clean, fresh sheets, freshly shaved legs. On that night, that first night of clean sheets and freshly shaved legs, that is the best sleep. That is.
Can I just tell you something that you're going to hate about me? You're going to hate this. I don't have to shave. I can go so I don't know what that feels like. Like I can go a week to 2 weeks without shaving and you wouldn't even know. So I can't relate to that. I'm going to have to think about that.
Use a body scrub. Next time when you have fresh sheets, use a body scrub and just get like an everything all clean shower. Like get as squeaky clean as you can. It just feels
Exfoliate the whole thing. Just exfoliate and then get in and see how that feels. Okay, I will do that. But it's wild. Like my mother-in-law, and she's Italian. When my husband and I first started dating, she's like, I think Amy like shaves her entire body. And it's like, no, she just has no. It's crazy. No. So I'm going to exfoliate and get in sheets and see what that feels like.
all your hair is on top of your head.
I
That's where it is. She's got super thick hair. So anytime you want to get rid of some of that, I will gladly take some.
Yeah, people pay money to get like laser hair removal. Do you know how lucky you are? Like how blessed you are that you don't have to do that? Jealous over here. All right, guys, let's get back on topic here. I'm sorry. I just went crazy talking about all my like weird stuff. So, but I do agree. Like it does feel good to just have those soft legs laying against those soft sheets at night. But sometimes the harder I try to have a good night's sleep, the worse my sleep is. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that. Like, you could do all the things like take a hot shower and, get yourself feeling good, take all the medicine to help you fall asleep, and then still not sleep good. And so trying harder rarely improves sleep. And tracking more doesn't always calm the system. And trust me, with this Oura Ring, I'm always tracking my sleep now. I'm like, I wake up and I'm like, oh, I wonder what my sleep score is. Control tightens, release softens. So you cannot force unconsciousness. You create sanctuary, and sanctuary begins before nightfall. If this conversation is shifting how you think about sleep and restoration, subscribe and stay with us. The next episodes continue building this foundation. This week, 1 hour before bed, do a couple things. Try to dim the lights, reduce some stimulation, like turn the TV off, put your phone aside, which practice what you preach. I'm not very good at putting my phone aside. But I am going to try it this week. I really am going to make a conscious effort. And honestly, I really would like to be that person that can leave my phone like in another room and go to sleep. I have some friends that have said that they do that. I'm just so attached to my phone, and I'm attached to the alarm when it goes off in the morning, even if I don't even need my alarm anymore. Like I just wake up, but in my mind, I have to have my phone for my alarm. But, lower the conversation intensity. Like maybe you're having a conversation at night with some friends or a family member or your spouse. Maybe just kind of like mellow it out a little bit. Write down some unfinished thoughts. I don't know. That's like a really great idea is to journal at night, get those thoughts out on paper, so that they're not sticking inside your brain so you can really calm and go to sleep. Tell your nervous system it's safe to power down. And personally, I like to do this just by saying a prayer or 2 or 3 or 4, or pray for 20 minutes or something. Just have a conversation with God. Let release become your nightly cue. Peptides act as messengers. When signaling involved in nighttime repair is supported consistently, people often report more restorative sleep, smoother mornings, improved mood stability. Not because sleep was forced, because repair was completed. Y'all, that's a really good feeling. And I definitely know that feeling because I've definitely used that peptide Amy was talking about earlier that does those things. So if you're exploring supportive tools that align with restoration rather than override, they're linked in the show notes. Take what fits and then leave what doesn't. Comment the word of the episode, release. We genuinely appreciate the posture that you're choosing, and we'll continue building this sanctuary together next week.
If something in today's conversation stirred you, send it to the person who came to mind. That's how this message moves, person to person, and we can't do it without you. If you want to stay connected, go ahead and subscribe, like, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. All the resources and goodies are linked in the show notes, and we'd love to continue the conversation with you over on Instagram. Until next time, stay prayerful, stay curious, and keep listening to the signals.
The content shared on Prayer and Peptides podcast is for educational, informational, and inspirational purposes only. This podcast is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, nor is it a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Discussions around peptides, nervous system regulation, stress, sleep, hydration, and wellness are presented as general educational concepts and reflections on the body's design, not as medical recommendations. Always seek the advice of your physician, a licensed healthcare provider, or qualified medical professional regarding any medical condition, symptoms, medication, supplements, or health discussions. Never disregard or delay seeking professional medical advice because of something you heard on this podcast. The hosts and guests of Prayer and Peptides are not acting as medical providers. Any personal experiences or stories shared are anecdotal and not intended to imply guaranteed outcomes. Spiritual reflections, prayer, and scripture-informed insights are offered as relational and supportive practices, not as replacements for medical or mental health care. By listening to this podcast, you acknowledge that you are responsible for your own health decisions and that Prayer and Peptides assumes no liability for actions taken based on the information presented.